we must stand together with Taiwanese people. I think Taiwan is absolutely critical. We are very concerned about a rising China. If we don't stand with Taiwan, what signal does that send to China?
But Taiwan is a democracy. Taiwan has a ridiculous amount of democracy. They just elect everything. But they have a free press and they have the opportunity to dissent from government without facing prison. I mean, these are really important principles. So I stand with them. I really do. I stand with them.
I want the Taiwanese people to be proud of themselves and to be proud of their culture. It's such a beautiful region too. The nature is incredible there.
新闻硬邦邦，听新闻最爽。我是节目主持人斯坦，欢迎各位收看。我们现在在 CPAC 第二天，今天有非常厉害的嘉宾，有 Benny Johnson 一个好几千万追踪者的一个意见领袖，然后也有我们波兰的前总理嘛，Joe Bonham，然后有各个美国的政府官员都在这个舞台上有演讲。那今天我要问，在 CPAC 这边的人，他们认为台湾如果是遇到灾难的话，比如说中共侵略，美国人要不要跟台湾人肩并肩的一起对抗共产党这个邪恶政权？First of all, thank you so much for agreeing to take part in my show. Could you please introduce yourself and tell me why you're here today?
I never agreed. I'm just kidding. I agreed. Yeah, that's him getting consent, which is funny. Yeah, I'm Joe Bonham. I'm based here in Dallas in DFW, and I'm a content creator. I do mostly sports, but we're doing a little bit of political stuff. We're going to interview Nick Shirley today. So
Great. Do you have a YouTube channel to follow?
It's at Joe Bonham Official. Yeah.
Great.
I have like 41K on there. Nothing too crazy. I'm mostly on TikTok and Instagram, but yeah.
Also good. Regarding today's CPAC, what are the issues that you're mostly concerned about?
I think the biggest thing right now is obviously the war in Iran. And then, I mean, you kind of brought up a couple things, but I think right now is economics, right? So we have to kind of get the economy back on a good pace before the elections in November. So, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing, and so we still have time between now and then.
And as most of my viewers are Taiwanese, they're very concerned about American support of Taiwan. Do you think that American people in the U.S., as a government, as a country, should stand together with the Taiwanese against communist aggression from China?
Yeah, I think they should. No one in the U.S. really supports communism or the Communist Party. So, you know, they're independent. They're an independent country, and I think China should recognize that. And, you know, obviously there could be a day where they decide to invade or take over Taiwan, and I think we should stand with Taiwan economically and support them, providing military equipment to some degree. We should definitely support them.
So, as you guys see, this year's CPAC is very international. We also have some guests from Germany, and she's very unique because she is applying for political asylum here in the United States. Could you tell everyone what brings you here to CPAC?
Hello. So the irony is that I'm not even here to represent Germany or what I'm actually doing here in the United States, which is seeking asylum because I'm being persecuted for my free speech in Germany. I am actually here today with the Border Patrol Commander-in-Chief, Greg Bovino, deport people who have nothing to do in the country other than committing crimes or just not being loyal to the country. Honestly, that's enough. If you're illegally in the country, that makes you a criminal. So it's not just about deporting criminal illegal aliens, because that's just, why would you say that twice? That is what it is. Being illegal is illegal.
You
that's
shouldn't
criminal.
start your relationships with a country from violating the law of this country.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. What used to be common sense right now all of a sudden is being called racist, xenophobic, or whatever. That's very surprising.
And then they say that, but Americans are on stolen land. That's just such a ridiculous premise, because the Germans are not having enough babies. So the consequence is we must import immigrants, and then they will integrate into our culture and they will carry the tax system, which is ridiculous. If you do the maths on it, then you will see that in a few years' time, we will be worse off, because we are the ones carrying the immigrants too. We are not just carrying the elderly, which makes sense, but we're also carrying the new people that are coming in. Meanwhile, Germans are not having enough kids, and partially that's because we have to pay so many taxes, because it's just so ridiculous. Inflation is
this also is caused by deindustrialization of Germany. Businesses are living,
absolutely.
and
it's
very hard to find jobs, very hard to employ people there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in Asia, everybody's laughing at us for buying into the Green New Deal and paying like climate change taxes. I've been working with scientists on this particular topic for the past years, and I discovered that there's a massive mathematical error that the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they made in their calculations for the climate sensitivity, which means they basically forgot that the sun is shining. They left the sun out of the equation for the climate sensitivity, which leads to a drastic change in the feedback amplifying factors, which basically means that the factors that would amplify the greenhouse gas effect that they say are taking place are actually not there at all, or actually just like a fraction of what they say they are. And that means there's no warming, and we're just wasting money, billions of dollars and euros in Europe and in America. And
I hope that more people listen to you than Greta.
Oh, I hope so too. if you look up anti-Greta or anti-Greta Thunberg, you will find me. You will find my Wikipedia page, because I have been called the anti-Greta by the legacy media and like all over the media.
I think it's a compliment you should wear as a badge of honor. And we have just talked a little bit. You went to Taiwan before.
I did.
Most of my viewers are Taiwanese. What is your experience there? What do you think about Taiwan?
Shout out to my Taiwanese host family from when I was like 15 years old. It was one of the best times of my life. It changed so much for me because it was the first time that I was in Asia at all, and that I was so far away from home, from Europe. And it just gave me a completely different perspective on life, on culture, and I loved how welcoming they were. They had such an appreciation for my culture. At the same time, they had their own culture, and they were not going to like sacrifice their culture for my culture. So I did have to adapt to their culture, and it was difficult at times to understand all the customs. But it was so beautiful. It's the best challenge, and I want the Taiwanese people to be proud of themselves and to be proud of their culture. It's such a beautiful region too. The nature is incredible there. Shout out to everybody in Taiwan, to be honest. It's a great country.
You probably also know that China is threatening Taiwan. The Communist Party, they say they want to invade Taiwan and attack them. What do you have to tell them? And if you think that democratic countries like the United States or like Germany, to a certain extent, that democracy should unite and stand together with the Taiwanese people against the communist aggression?
Yes, not just as democracy, but simply as we the people. Because especially we in the West, we share many aspects in our culture and our appreciation for freedom. That's the most important aspect for all of us. And the Communist Party obviously stands against freedom. And freedom is what unites us. And right now I see a lot of like China promo on social media, and a lot of it I think is very artificial. A lot of it is just they want to show something off that is not real. And that's sad, even for the Chinese people, because I know there are a lot of people in China even that are totally against communism, but they cannot speak. Why?
Yeah.
Because they have no freedom because of communism.
Yeah, how is life there? I can't complain. Oh, that's okay. No, I can't complain.
Yes,
because
exactly.
if I complain, something bad
Exactly.
happens.
And now we're experiencing that in Europe. I remember back then when I was in Taiwan, they told me about this, how horrible the communist system was, and that they couldn't speak out against China, and that they were worried about being invaded by China. And I thought, wow, I couldn't imagine not having free speech. And then it hit my country. And now I'm applying for asylum in the United States for that exact reason. And so I totally empathize with that. And I can totally relate. And I want you to fight for your country. And I stand with the Taiwanese people.
Thank you so much. It was a great answer.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best with your application. Vielen Dank.
Thank you.
I have an honorable guest here, Honorable Gary Hardgrave from Australia, former minister. Thank you so much for agreeing to take part in my show. I would like to ask you 3 questions. Question number 1. Why did you come to CPAC this year?
Well, I think it's really important that we concentrate on the values that will sustain Western civilization, and those conservative values, the values that encourage individuals to succeed, reward that effort, really construct and strengthen the family and its role in society. I think those things are really critical elements. No matter what other issues might be on people's minds, I think they're the sorts of things that are at the heart of what CPAC is about.
And what are the issues that you're mostly concerned about this year?
Look, I'm really worried about the frailty of Western civilization. I'm really concerned that unless we fight for the values that have delivered the world to where it has been, unless we fight to strengthen those values, we're going to fall. We're going to fall because there are those who don't want to worship anything else other than woke ideology, that want to diminish the kind of strengths in Western civilization over the last couple of thousand years. Those people are organised. They are united. They are trying to pull us apart. So we have to strengthen ourselves to gain that strength by working with others, to find a way to defend ourselves against this really constant attack. This constant attack, this woke ideology, the idea that we don't need families, we need government, those sorts of things. This will pull us apart, and we've got to strengthen ourselves to make sure that doesn't happen.
Minister, you're very strong on Taiwan. And what does it mean for a conservative to stand together with the Taiwanese people against the communist aggression?
Well, look, I want friendship on both sides of Taiwan Strait, so I'm happy to work with the people of the People's Republic of China, but Taiwan is the country I think I've visited more than any other country in the world over the years. I have a lot of Taiwanese-born friends in the area in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, that I used to represent in the federal parliament. We have the largest Taiwanese-born diaspora, and they've raised a lot of what they call ABCs, Australian-born Chinese, right? So these are great contributors to our society. But Taiwan is a democracy. Taiwan has a ridiculous amount of democracy. They just elect everything. But they have a free press, and they have the opportunity to dissent from government without facing prison. I mean, these are really important principles. So I stand with them. I really do. I stand with them. But as I said, I want to be friends with the other side of Taiwan Strait too. But push comes to shove, and I hope it never does, Taiwan's got my support.
Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you.
Cheers.
I have another guest from Australia, Freya from Australia. She's a former Sky News host. Freya, what do you do right now, and what brings you to CPAC?
I've got my own YouTube show on John Anderson Media, which is one of the biggest political channels in Australia. And I'm at CPAC because I think it's really important that conservatives come together to fight for the future of the Western world, that we have debate, we have discussion, but then we go out unified and determined to take the fight to the left.
And what are the issues that concern you most this year?
I think immigration is a big one. I think especially as an Australian, I can say we have had too much immigration, and the quality and the kinds of people coming has been too low. We are letting people in who don't want to assimilate into our way of life. They don't want to contribute to our country. They want to bring their grievances, bring their problems, and form ethnic enclaves. And that is ripping apart our country in Australia. I think it's happening across the Western world. And the other thing we've got is energy. We are one of the most blessed countries in terms of natural resources, coal, gas, critical minerals, everything. But we don't let our country use it and benefit from it because we have deindustrialized, our jobs have gone to China, we have lost capacity to actually use our God-given resources. We're now in a petrol crisis. Our country will run out of petrol in a matter of weeks because all of our oil refineries have closed down. We ship all of our oil offshore and then we ship it back when it's been refined elsewhere. So immigration and energy, I think, are two very big issues.
This sounds so similar to Germany with the whole deindustrialization and like shipping all the jobs to China. And most of my viewers are Taiwanese. And as a conservative, do you think, what does Taiwan mean to you? And if you think that conservatives should stand together with Taiwanese people?
We must stand together with Taiwanese people. I think Taiwan is absolutely critical. We are very concerned about a rising China. If we don't stand with Taiwan, what signal does that send to China? It sends a signal that the West won't stand for anyone. And then where will they stop? In Australia, China is already running a very significant campaign behind the scenes to try and influence our politics, our universities, all aspects of Australian life. They're trying to control Chinese and monitor Chinese citizens in Australia. And that is not on. It's actually violating our sovereignty as a country. So if we don't stand up for Taiwan and say, actually, borders matter, freedom matters, democracy matters, self-determination matters, well, why would China stop there? So the isolationist people are just stupid and wrong because they think that this threat won't come for them as well. It it will come for them in Australia because we're in Asia. We know that, and we know that unless we defend Taiwan, none of us are really safe.
Basically next in line after Taiwan.
100%. And even from a national security perspective, all the chips that Taiwan manufactures, it's absolutely critical. And from a moral point of view as well, we have to stand with them.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And God bless Australia. Thank you.
Well, I'm here for conservative values. This is the most conservative group in the whole country, and I want to be a part of this. But.
And for this year's CPAC, what do you think are the most important issues to you personally?
Well, right now it's to complete the war in Iran. We want that over with, and we want Iran to completely be to be gone. The regime. I'm not talking about the Iran people, but we want this regime to be gone and replaced. And we hope that the people will actually take over Iran and move forward with a new government there. That's the ultimate goal I see now.
Yeah, and we finally can see Iranian people dancing and singing on the streets. They're very happy about the operation of the United States.
We saw a very great example of that right here on the floor just a few minutes ago, when they were just screaming, about President Trump and about USA. That's all beautiful, and that's what we want to see.
Thank you. And as most of my viewers are Taiwanese, do you think that the United States should protect and help Taiwan to fight against the Communist Party of China?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do. I hope that we will assist the Taiwanese people and to continue their liberty and their freedoms there in Taiwan, and not be taken over by China. We know what China will do. They've got a terroristic regime going on over there, and we feel like the Taiwanese people want freedom and liberty, and that's what the United States wants for Taiwan, in my opinion. What they want for the Taiwanese people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So could you tell me, please, why are you here today?
I'm here today for two reasons. Showing my support to Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, the only alternative, like majority of the people in Iran, inside Iran and outside, we believe he's the only alternative for us to bring us the free election. So, and the second, say thank you to President Trump for his military action.
Thank you. And could you tell everyone what is going on right now there?
So everybody thinks like people inside Iran, they are not happy with the war. They're happy with this war. So we don't call it war. We say President Trump and President Netanyahu. So they are supporting people of Iran with this military action.
And as a woman, what does the death of Ayatollah Khamenei mean to you and to all the Iranian women?
Means a new life, new day, and bright days, bright futures for women in Iran.
Thank you. Why are you here today?
Pleasure.
I'm here because I'm a proud conservative. I'm here with the Xavier University College Republicans, and I'm, just CPAC is kind of the place to go for people like me, and there's a lot of great people here, and so, for me, this is just, a great opportunity.
And what are the issues at this year's CPAC that you're mostly concerned about?
Immigration, that's the big one. Obviously, there's a lot of foreign policy stuff that's happening too, but I think that, a really big thing for me and a lot of people my age is to really fight to get these deportations underway, continue them, maybe ramp them up, and then also in foreign policy, going about the world in a way that benefits American interests.
Most of my viewers are Taiwanese. Do you think that the United States should stand together with the Taiwanese people against the Chinese communist aggression?
Well, speaking from an American perspective, I certainly do think that Taiwan, represents seriously important assets and strategic assets to America. Not to, the microchips, right? The manufacturing of that is super important, and we're not at a point now in America where we can rely on ourselves for that. And so, with that in mind, also with the fact that China's economy communist dictatorship. We should, in I think, prudent ways, stand with the Taiwanese people to at least, at the very least, prevent China from going in there and having a sphere of influence in Taiwan in order to protect, the Taiwanese people, stop the spread of, the Chinese power, but also to protect the American, global hegemon from Chinese.
Why are you here today?
I'm here today because I'm wondering and going around on what it is like to be a young conservative man in the United States today. I'm here with the Xavier College Republicans and learning more in each day about being a young conservative man in this country.
This is very interesting. Why do you think conservatism is so attractive to young people nowadays?
Because it's the new way of life. More conservatives want to have more families, they want to build something great around themselves, and they have a better structure, I feel like, in my opinion, for this country to be better. And there's more to do with that. You can build off that, but you are able to accomplish more. The conservative mind is way more branched, I'd say, than the liberal mind, and you can see it through anything. You look at people day to day, how they live their lives. More conservative people work hard. They know what the American dream is being able to achieve in this generation.
And what are the issues that you're mostly concerned about during this year's CPAC?
I would 100% say immigration in this country. There's a lot of people that are in this country that shouldn't be here, and also affordability for young families. I feel like growing up in the United States now is way more expensive than it used to be, and the best thing we can do as conservative people is to be able to aid them in that sense.
Most of my viewers are Taiwanese. Do you think that the United States should stand together with the Taiwanese people against the Chinese communist aggression?
100%. The United States being a powerhouse in the entire world, our duty, I feel like, other than to protect Americans, to protect people around the world, and us being, strong allies with them. That is a big, sense of, help, because we're not able. Once we are able to help our citizens, our duty, as I said before, is to help others, and in that sense, take away communism and do everything in our powerhouse of America to defeat communism.
I love it. Take away communism.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Came here. The main reason is to see and hear Rasa Pahlavi. And I want to show support. I support the American culture, I support the American people. But right now, all eyes on the people of Iran. So I'm here to support them, and I've seen a lot of beautiful people of Iran and beautiful people of America. That's why I'm here.
Javid Shah.
Javid Shah, you speak Persian?
No, I just speak Javid Shah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And alrighty. And what are the issues? You just told about Iran. Are there any other issues that you're concerned about during this year's CPAC?
It's just that I'm taking a lot of experience by the American culture. I like that the American people and the American politicians is taking and putting their own people first, just as they do in Poland. And it's sad to say this, but Sweden have no real conservative politician nor a real conservative party. So I'm here to get more life experience about how to be a great leader, how to be a great speaker and also a great listener. So I'm here to use the life experience to talk with the Americans. Some people, like Sweden, is very extremely left-winged. A lot of people like to talk about the Americans. I'm here to talk with the Americans.
Beautifully said. Thank you. And most of my viewers are Taiwanese. Do you think that the people of democratic countries, including the United States and Sweden, should stand together with the Taiwanese people against Chinese communist aggression?
100%. And that's because I'm a democracy supporter, and I think the people of Taiwan should have the right to believe for their own. Like, I always believe the local knows what's best for their own nation, and it's up for the people in Taiwan if they want to be independent. And I have nothing against China as a nation. It's just that I'm pro-democracy, pro-independence if they want to. I just want to let the people in Taiwan, let them have their own speech, what they believe in. Let them maybe have an election and let the people decide for their own future. That's what I'm standing behind.
Thank you so much for agreeing to take part in my show. Sir, why are you here today?
Well, I'm here because I felt like I had something to offer people within our country, but also to globally, I feel like there needs to be some connections made between people that are here.
And what are the issues that concern you most during this year's CPAC?
Honestly, I go back to COVID. I'm originally from the urban community. My name is Lafe Cook, L-A-F-E Cook. And I was in COVID, and I felt like it was a movie that we all wanted to be free from, but everybody was in it regardless of what their part was. And so I came up with a lot of preventative ways. And I have a nonprofit called the Emerging Family Foundation that deals in the semiconductor space and sustainable development. And I came up with that through COVID.
Wow, and you know a lot about, you will like the next question, because most of my viewers are Taiwanese, and Taiwan is very strong with semiconductors. Do you think, if anything bad happens to Taiwan, that American people in the United States should stand together with the Taiwanese people against the Chinese communist aggression?
I believe, I believe that there's a 50% chance not, but then there's a 50% chance that there could be help from the United States with Taiwan. But I believe that Taiwan has to make that decision.
And what is your opinion?
My opinion is they should definitely start making preparations for that now with the United States now. And I truly believe in Taiwan. That's why I'm in semiconductors. But I feel like there needs to be more semiconductor situations between Taiwan and the United States now. I actually reached out to the president one time of Taiwan and asked if they would love to connect and do something with semiconductors with me one time.
Oh, great. Great. Wish you best of luck. Thank you, sir. And God bless.
Yes, sir.
I'm Lawrence J. Ligas, Ligas, and I'm here for several reasons to get the word out about January 6th. I want to share the truth about January 6th, and I also want to share about the need for more people to stand up for the reason is for free speech and accountability. That should go worldwide.
What are the issues that you're mostly concerned with? I've heard that you really care about freedom of speech and also unfair persecution for free speech. Could you tell a little bit more about it?
I'm really concerned about the corruption in the DOJ and the FBI. FBI should be a law enforcement agency that everybody could trust. But I found out that there's lying going on in the FBI and the DOJ. So I'm trying to get the word out that we need to all unite behind the corruption that's in the DOJ and FBI. And another issue is voter apathy. If we all unite but we don't vote, we don't get our message out. So dividing us and conquer, the fraudsters win.
Most of my viewers are Taiwanese. Do you think that the United States and American people should stand together with the Taiwanese people against the Chinese communist aggression?
100%. I stood up against the Communist corrupt party 3 days before I was arrested for standing up to the egregiously rigged election in 2020 presidential. So I 100% support your mission.